Hello, everyone. Today we're going to dive into a business function that's absolutely critical, but often flies under the radar: purchasing management. And let me tell you, it's so much more than just office shopping. When it's done right, it can be a company's secret weapon for gaining a serious competitive edge. So let's get into it. All right, to start, I want you to think back. Remember the last time you had to buy a new laptop for yourself? What was on your mind? The brand? Probably. The price? For sure. Maybe even the color, right? You did a little research, you weighed your options, and you picked what felt best for you and your wallet. Pretty straightforward. Okay, now let's switch gears completely. Imagine you're not buying for you anymore. You're a purchasing professional, and your task is to buy 20, not one, but 20 high-performance desktops for your company's design team. All of a sudden, that decision feels a lot more complicated, doesn't it? The stakes are way higher, and a whole host of new factors just entered the game. Welcome to the world of corporate purchasing. So let's really break down the difference between these two scenarios, these two types of buyers. Because while the basic act of buying something is the same, I can tell you from years of experience that the motivations, the process, and most importantly, the consequences are worlds apart. See, as a personal buyer, you're really just focused on your own needs, your own budget, the risk. It's pretty low. If the laptop breaks, it's a huge pain for you, but that's about it. A corporate buyer, though, they have to think about the entire organization. Their goal is all about maximizing value and minimizing risk for the company. Personal preference goes right out the window. It's all about following a formal, structured, and totally defensible process. And this is where the real challenge begins. This shift from what I want to what the organization needs creates a really unique set of problems. Corporate purchasing isn't just a simple task on a to-do list. It's a complex balancing act that absolutely demands a professional, structured approach. And you'll almost always run into these three main challenges. First up, conflicting priorities. For those 20 computers, the IT department is demanding top-tier security features. The finance department is staring at the long-term cost, and the designers will actually use them. They just want the fastest machines they can possibly get. Your job is to somehow make all three of them happy. Second, there's risk management. If your personal laptop fails, that's a bad day. If 20 corporate machines fail, you could bring an entire department to a screeching halt, costing the company thousands upon thousands in lost productivity. And third, supplier management. You can buy your laptop from pretty much anywhere, but a corporate buyer, they have to rigorously vet their suppliers for everything: financial stability, reliability, and the support they're going to offer after the sale is done. Now, when you hear the finance department talk about cost, you need to understand they're rarely just talking about the sticker price. They're focused on a concept that is absolutely crucial in this field: total cost of ownership, or TCO. This isn't just the purchase price. It includes everything else: maintenance, software licenses, support contracts, and even the cost to dispose of it down the line. That cheaper computer might look good up front, but if it needs constant repairs, its TCO could be way higher, making it a terrible business decision. And to manage all that operational risk we talked about, professionals rely on something called a service level agreement, or an SLA. This is not, I repeat, not just a warranty. It's a formal, legally binding contract. It spells out the exact level of service a supplier has to provide. For example, it might guarantee a technician will be on site within 4 hours to fix a critical failure. For equipment the business depends on, a rock-solid SLA is completely non-negotiable. So you might be asking yourself, okay, I get it, it's complicated, but why do companies pour so much time and effort into these formal processes? Well, here's the answer. Because a well-run purchasing strategy doesn't just save a bit of money here and there. It creates a significant, lasting competitive advantage. A strong purchasing team delivers very real, tangible benefits. By negotiating for 20 computers instead of one, they can get bulk discounts that might shave, say, 15% off the total cost. That goes straight to the bottom line. They partner with top-tier suppliers to get high-quality, business-grade equipment that's built to last. And they reduce risk by making sure they aren't too reliant on any single supplier. This is why I always tell my students, purchasing isn't a cost center, it's a value creator. To make this really hit home, let's think about a Canadian powerhouse, Bombardier. Their purchasing team manages an unbelievably complex global supply chain for everything from jet engines down to the tiniest electronic components. And as this quote shows, a single faulty part or even a one-day shipping delay can literally ground a multi-million-dollar aircraft. The stakes are just immense, which shows you why having a bulletproof process isn't just a nice-to-have, it's essential for survival. Now, that kind of discipline doesn't just happen by magic. To manage all this complexity and turn purchasing into that strategic weapon we've been talking about, companies follow a very structured, repeatable playbook. So let's walk through the 7 core steps of the professional purchasing cycle.
Okay, here is the roadmap from a high level. It all kicks off with need identification. From there, you move to defining the specifications, then sourcing suppliers, contract negotiation, placing the purchase order, receiving and inspecting the delivery, and finally, supplier performance management. Now, this is where it gets really insightful, when you see this formal process laid out right next to your own personal purchase. Let's walk through this table. Step 1. Need identification. For you, it's as simple as, my laptop is too slow. In the company, it's a formal purchase requisition backed by a business case. Step 2. Specifications. You might just want a good battery, while the corporate buyer is creating a detailed technical spec sheet with IT, defining mandatory security features and minimum processing power. Step 3. Sourcing. You browse a few online stores. The company sends out a formal document to a list of pre-vetted, approved suppliers.
And that formal document has a name. It's called a request for quotation, or an RFQ. This is a key tool in the professional's toolbox. It ensures you're making an apples-to-apples comparison, because you're forcing every supplier to bid on the exact same set of specifications. This allows for a fair, data-driven decision. Okay, let's continue down our table here. Step 4 is negotiation, where the purchasing analyst uses the size of the order to get better pricing and payment terms. Then comes step 5. Instead of you just clicking Buy Now, the company issues a formal purchase order, or a PO. And the most important thing to remember here is that a PO is a legally binding contract. It locks in the items, the quantities, and the prices. It's the supplier's official green light to ship the goods and send an invoice. Now we get to the final steps, and this is what really separates the pros from the amateurs. Step 6, receipt and inspection. You just open the box. The company's IT department, on the other hand, is going to rigorously inspect and test every single one of those 20 machines before anyone even thinks about authorizing payment. And finally, step 7, performance management. Instead of leaving a positive online review, the company uses a formal process called Supplier Relationship Management, or SRM. They actually track metrics like on-time delivery, product quality, service responsiveness to score their suppliers and decide who has earned their business in the future. This is how you build powerful strategic partnerships. And all of this brings us right to the ultimate takeaway from our discussion today. Professional purchasing isn't really about the tactical act of just buying things. It's about using that entire structured process to build a real, lasting strategic advantage for the whole organization. It's a complete mindset shift away from a simple transaction and toward a strategic partnership. The goal isn't just to get the lowest price on 20 computers. The real goal is to build a long-term relationship with a reliable supplier who doesn't just provide great products, but also delivers excellent service and brings new innovations to the table. That's how you create ongoing value while protecting the company from risk. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about as you continue your studies. In a world where every company is fighting tooth and nail over product features and price points, how can mastering a seemingly internal process, like purchasing, become the hidden engine that truly gives a company its sustainable competitive advantage?